Oly Position Prep number 3, we're going to play with different types of elevation, elevating your heels, elevating your toes, going through that to try to get your squat to feel better in warm-up going into the workout. We're still going to hold the plate out front, so Camille, hold that plate out front. This is going to be important when you elevate your toes here in a minute, but we're going to start with your heels elevated. Again, you can elevate with bumper plates, metal plates, or any type of wedge that you might have, but holding the plate out front, keeping the whole of the plate right in front of your eyes as you go down and come back up. And we're going to squat down, making sure that you're getting to in ranges. Our hips are as low to the ground as she can get them. She's created this really good upright position, which the elevated heels helps with. Our ankles are at in range. We're going to pause there for about 3 seconds and up and then back down. And just keeping the plate out front. You can stand back up. You can bring the plate down if you need to rest on some of your reps. But we're going to go right into a set without elevation now. So on the level surface, again, always think in terms of exaggerating your feet, especially if you're elevating your heels. Take that opportunity to do something a little bit more narrow and a little bit straighter for overall benefit there. And once again, getting to those nice in ranges and holding for 3 seconds. All right, so go ahead and rest there real quick. We're going to now elevate the toes. What this is doing is just it's exaggerating your position. It's making it more difficult. Obviously, it's indicated in the program to perform all of these warm-ups barefoot. You can have socks on if you need to, or a flat shoe. I prefer barefoot more than anything, but that's going to make this really hard. So elevate on something less with your toes, at least initially, than you do with your heels. You can also open up your feet a little bit if you need to be able to get all the way down and maintain as much quality as you need to. But go ahead and hold that plate out front the same way. All right, and then back down again, still trying to get to those in ranges. Still trying to get as low to the ground as you can. Ankles are at their in ranges, all of that good stuff. Back up, all right, and then back down one more time. And still 3 seconds in the bottom there. And back up. And then once again, rest here as needed, but we're going to step back and go right into another regular or level surface squat to end the sequence. So we typically have 5 elevated heels, 5 level, 5 toes elevated, and 5 level. And by the time you get back around to that last level, right after doing the elevated toes, you should feel nice and good. All right, part of Oly Position Prep number 3, I call this the barbell mobility complex. We're going to go through 7 different exercises. You're going to try to hang on to the bar the whole time, only 5 reps. Going to have her hold in key positions briefly on each of those reps. First thing we're going to do is good mornings. Okay, we're just going to show you a couple reps of each, but on the good morning, keeping a slight bend in the knee, keeping the back tight, pushing the butt back, and come back up. And even though you're pushing the butt back, I still want you to stay solid on your whole foot. Notice she's in her heels, but she's also solid in her toes as well. All right, after that, we're going to go into a back squat. All right. You do have your shoes off here, so it's going to add difficulty barefoot or with a flat foot. So do the best you can with your foot position, but I do want you pausing briefly in the bottom on each rep and back up and getting all the way to those end ranges just like we've done in all the other warm-ups. All right, so starting with your clean grip here, and make sure that you have your clean and jerk grip to work all of these exercises as much as possible. But now we're going to do what I call elbow rotations, just bringing the elbows forward as much as you can. And if you want to get the elbows higher, you can actually go to your fingertips on this. I'm okay with that so that you get a little bit more range. But then you're going to push back as much as you can, okay? Holding briefly in each of those extreme positions, all right? Make sure that your body is staying nice and straight and tight. All right, from here we're going to go with the behind the neck press and stretch. You've seen this in some of the other warm-ups. All right, and forward again and back down and reset. Important part here is pressing straight up first and holding briefly, checking that your body is straight and tight. Squeeze your quads, squeeze your glutes and your abs so that when you press back into that stretch, you get a little bit better overall quality. Now bring the bar back down here. We're going to take that, once you get done with that 5th rep, into a narrow grip overhead squat. So if you can do jerk grip, great. If you need to widen out a little bit, what I mean by narrow is just something more narrow than your snatch grip ideally, and you can bring those in as you go through sets or as you go through weeks of these programs. If you really struggle with overhead squat, we can lift the heels using plates or any type of wedge. So go ahead and widen. Yep, there you go. So she's a little bit wider than her jerk grip right now. So go ahead and do a rep there. And again, we're going to pause in the bottom. And you can do all reps that way if you need to. Now bring it back down so that we can bring the hands in. So as she goes through reps or weeks of this program, all right? And then hopefully getting off the elevation for some of the reps or eventually. All right, and now we're going to bring it to the front. Now, clean grip Romanian deadlift, if you changed your hands up a little bit, go ahead and bring those hands back into the clean grip. And just like what we looked for with the good morning, we're looking for the feet to stay solid on the ground, looking for it to maintain a slight bend in the knee, pushing the butt back, but again, very important that you're staying solid on the whole foot there. And then we're gonna end this sequence now, finally, with the front squat. All right, make sure that you have your clean grip here. And I really want you to fight to maintain all fingers underneath the bar. Go ahead and squat, and pausing briefly in the bottom on each of those reps. But a big thing that I see athletes do here is letting those fingers slip out. And I know for some athletes that they might think that that's necessary. But even if it causes your elbows to drop a little bit, you're gonna get a better stretch and better overall carryover to your clean if you maintain at least all of those fingers under the bar. And that is the end of that sequence.